going to segue back into school and ask you a few things about the day in the life of a school therapist. I know we talked a little bit about the process and probably could go on forever on that, but I think we did enough on that. So typically, how many clients would a therapist see in a day? How many students?
Yes, if you think about it, right, a school day is about 6 hours long. If you're jumping from one client to the next client every 30 minutes, then you can see around 12. Ideally, or if you're doing small groups, it might be a little bit more, but still at most 12 different sessions. That said, typically I would be able to fit in around 10 sessions a day. It also depends too. If you're in a more rural area and you're driving from one school to another school and it's an hour away, then it's going to cut down on it. So a typical caseload, which I really hate the term caseload because we should be focusing more on workloads, is that is 41 to 50 kids. And that's actually based on research. Surrey and Garfinkel in 2020 released a survey of like 400 OTs, and it was 41 to 50 kids was the average caseload. But I can tell you, I've had a caseload of 100 with an OTA, and I know OTs that have caseloads even higher than that. So,
well, and I'm glad you brought up the thing about the workload and the caseload. So for guys out there that don't know, Jayson, he talks about his business, but it is the OT Schoolhouse, and he rocks. So I don't know if you know about the OT Schoolhouse, but that's kind of a fun back in my day about the rock. Anyway, I digress. But it is a great, is it a podcast? What kind of?
I mean, we have multiple things. We have a podcast, and I mentioned this only because this is mostly students listening. I get emails on a monthly basis about how students have gotten a job because the podcast has just helped them so much. Beyond the podcast, we do have other paid professional development. The podcast is 100% free, but we do have other more advanced, I guess you could call it, more specific topic based professional developments at otschoolhouse.com. We do a conference every year, and then we also have a community for school-based OTs now, so that's pretty cool.
It is really awesome. It's really good. I've gotten quite a bit of information off of there as well. So go look at it, because you might see some stuff on there that you've seen from me. So anyway, the other thing, as far as being a school-based OT, do you feel like you're paid fairly? I mean, let's just break it down here. Are you paid fairly with it? Do you think that it's worth it? Give us some pros and cons about being an OT in the school.
Yeah, definitely. I keep going to my microphone like it's on. It's not even on right now. To be honest, in California, it's actually fairly decent, but I know that differs again state to state. In California, you can make six figures as a school-based OT, and you typically will have to work an extra 2 to 3 weeks more than a teacher might. So a typical school calendar is 180 days. OT calendars for the school district might be 195, 200 days, which is about 4 more weeks in addition to the school district calendar. But that varies. In some school districts, in some states, the OTs make exactly the same as a teacher. It follows the teacher schedule.
They won't let them do anything different.
Yeah. In some places, teacher or OTs are part of the union. In other places, OTs are not part of the teachers union. So it widely varies. The nice thing about working in public education, two things is because it's public education, they're pretty upfront about how much you're going to make. You can even go online typically and find that out. And B, it's nice because you typically get, some breaks, some summer breaks, winter breaks. I've had a lot of therapists who were in one realm, and they reach out to me and they say, "Hey, Jayson, thanks for helping me get a job. I'm coming from acute care. I have a 3-year-old, and I just want to have some time off now. And so I'm looking to get into the schools." So yeah, that time is nice to have off.
And a lot of the benefits in this working for a state is also a plus, because the retirement a lot of times outweighs the price that you get and the headache from some of the other
retirement benefits that you get. Insurance is usually pretty good for a public education job. So there are a lot of pros there.
Okay, so I have one last question for Jayson, and this is Dr. Z's favorite question, which I know y'all are just dying to hear him say this, and I've already forewarned him about it. So, Jayson, tell us what you like to use out in the field for models and frames of reference.
I love it. The PEO model is really my favorite, person, environment,
Yes.
occupation model. I absolutely love it, and I refer to it in most, if not all, of my presentations that I give, because it's really easy to focus on the person. It's really easy to focus on the occupation, but a lot of people, and I think you kind of alluded to the same thing earlier when we were chatting, they forget the environment, and they forget
Yay!
the
See, I
piece
just
that
said
the
that the other
environment,
day. Yeah.
right? um, yeah, the PEO, and then I think I don't even remember talking about this in school, but now there's the PEOP model, which includes performance, if I remember right.
It
Correct?
does, and it's a little different. It doesn't do the whole transactional. It's not all about overlapping. It looks a little bit more at the sections, but it has its own process with it too.
Gotcha.
And so it is a little different, but yes, the PEO is simple and you can take it
Mhm.
anywhere with you, right?
That's what I really like about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will admit, I have never truly understood moho. Like I know it, I like.
Totally agree with you there. Totally agree
It's
with
a
you. There's
tough
so
one.
much, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
got some good stuff though. There's
Volition
some,
and motivation, and
yep.
there's a lot there. So yeah, I really like PEO. It's just super. It makes sense to me. It's super simple. You can explain it to someone who's not an OT, which I think is important. Yeah, so I really like the PEO model.
Very good. All right, students. See, I got somebody on my side. Okay. Well, Jayson, thank you so very much for everything. This is wonderful. We will put it, or I'll be putting this in Blackboard I'll be downloading it on YouTube, putting it in Blackboard. I do have a YouTube site of my own out there somewhere. So you'll be out in there also. And I will definitely be watching you on your site and getting lots of information from you and be recommending you like crazy. So
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
I
to all the
appreciate
students,
you too.
best of luck. Best of luck in your field work and wherever you decide to go with your job.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Take care.